welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean. And
how's it going over there?
Good. I think I have a headache. I don't know. Think about taking. I've been thinking about taking an aspirin.
Oh, maybe you should.
Oh, maybe I will.
Well, we're gonna have to stop the podcast so you can get some aspirin.
Maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But welcome to the show. This is a podcast where we talk about a comic book, usually a series of sequential comic books. We talk about the comic and we pick it apart and make fun of things, and have. But we like to tell the stories and try to also recount comic book knowledge from thin air.
Yeah.
Doesn't go so well.
Nope.
Nonetheless, thank you for being here. I don't know. We've just been doing some shopping, I guess, about, as far as comic books and stuff goes. And
sure.
Picking up a few different things. I got some stuff for the show because Second and Charles has like a few. I got really excited to go into Second and Charles, pretty recently, to just kind of look around at some of the single issue comics.
Yeah.
Which is something I normally wasn't always keen on because they're not always $1.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, you can't get just straight up dollar comics anymore, depending on where you're at. But I did find some stuff. I found some Deathlock books. Not really with the Punisher involved. Don't know if I'm really into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of like, because I'm trying to find stuff to for us maybe to do. So I did that. I found some mid 90s Justice League America. So that's kind of cool. Found some X Factor. So we'll talk about that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And today I bought The Second Life of Dr. Mirage.
Okay.
Which is I was looking through the independent section. Everything that's on Marvel or DC, basically. Looking through those and just kind of trying to find like some variety of stuff from like other publishers, especially stuff from like the 90s.
Sure.
Thought it'd be worth a look. If you follow us on Instagram, and if you follow our Facebook page, and if you follow me on Instagram at Angry Hero Sean, Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky, you can find me on Blue Sky as well. I like to post comic book panels. Jen posts comic book panels too on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. We like having fun with that stuff, and you probably will find something you like. You've been reading some stuff, haven't you, or no?
Not really. Looking at some stuff, trying to get some books and trying to get my Batcat collection going. That's about it.
Looks like it's been going pretty well, though.
It's been going okay. I think that the my definition of what I would call a Batcat comic and what this person's definition might be slightly different. So some of them have been like, well, that was pointless.
Yeah, it's because it's just a brief cameo or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, it should be listed as cameo. Like that's not what this is, but that's fine.
That's the thing that kind of sucks, is that you're trying to, you don't really know, because it's the majority of these books you probably never read before.
Correct. Unless
if you're researching every book.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's too many.
And
there's
I'm like,
a lot.
Okay, I don't know if I could, I don't have the time to sit there and read about every issue before I go out and buy it, but maybe I should. I don't know.
Well, as long as I feel like if you don't overspend on certain things.
Well, that's why I try to get everything used.
I can't imagine there's too many of them where they're like these big key issues that's on this.
Honestly, I don't know.
List. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I mean, some of them I'm looking at like, it would be smarter to buy maybe a big, nice deluxe trade just because it has so many more issues in it.
Right.
Versus trying to get every single issue. It would probably be cheaper to get the trade. So, I mean, there's that kind of stuff. I don't think anything's like crazy. Most of the big key issues have been reprinted.
Yeah. Well, that's the convenience. That's what I always try to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been our reading stuff. Actually, I read through Hellstorm.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was actually pretty good. Did you know Warren Ellis took over that book?
I did not.
Yeah, he took over the book just after the trade that I'm reading. But it's interesting just because we're going to be talking about it. We're going to have it on the show eventually, too, because it's been a long time since we did a Hellstorm book.
That's true.
It's got some real cool creepiness to it that I feel like you didn't always get in Marvel Comics in the time. I mean, you probably did, but you'd have to go through like this is like a mainstream book.
Right.
And there's a few characters in there that kind of like, he engaged with a few characters that were a part of the larger Marvel makeup of stuff. But most of the time it's just a lot of like solo adventures or things that, you know, he's kind of dealing with, like just some real gross devil stuff, you know. And I don't know, it's actually, I just find it very interesting. I'm looking forward to maybe actually picking up the rest of the series. I don't think the rest of the series is collected, but I'll probably have to track them down because, you know, that's part of the fun. Mm-hmm. It's fucked up because Hellstorm, Damien Hellstrom, excuse me, is son of Satan. He married Hellcat.
Okay.
You know, Patsy Walker. Even though she knew he was like the son of Satan, she was just kind of like, hey, I'm going to hang around with you still.
Yep.
And then she kind of like really saw how Satan he is. Like just something where she got to see his true devil self.
But is he really the son of Satan?
Yes. Well, no, he's actually, no, wait, I'm sorry. No, he's not. He's a devil. There is a devil. There is a, not a devil, but because the way Marvel does things, it's like there's the devil, you know, but it's not like the Christian devil. It's just like a demon. You know, that's kind of like what Mephisto is. Uh-huh. But he's not Mephisto's son. We know that. But Mephisto is more like an alien.
Okay.
Like in a different dimension. And this is like another
demon alien
of some sort that laid with a human woman, and they produced Damon. But she saw his real self and became insane. So that's what's happening in this book, which is pretty wild, you know. And then also Gargoyle, who you might remember from some of the Defenders comics, he's in there, and he's just like Damon's like butler, even though he's a gargoyle.
I want a gargoyle butler.
He was also too. The gargoyle's like one of those guys. He's kind of like he's like basically Etrigan, but Etrigan's like an actual demon. Where Gargoyle is just a 90-year-old man trapped inside of a gargoyle body.
But like, is the gargoyle body also like? Is it a 90-year-old man body?
No, it's just like,
or is it just like? It's a young strapping gargoyle with a 90-year-old man driving it.
It's a 90-year-old, 91 or 90-year-old man driving a competent gargoyle body.
Okay.
Something. I can't exactly why he ended up in there, but he's a part of the Defenders, and I don't know actually what he's been up to. I gotta look it up, but I do. It's just because he interacts with people as like he's just a kindly old man.
Okay.
You know, and he's got a very like wholesome quality about it, you know. But
he's not a cranky old man.
Yeah, he doesn't seem cranky. He seems very nice. He seems very nice, and he tries to deal with Damon and stuff like that, and tries to be a good dude, and you know, that's kind of the deal. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to maybe picking up some more books from that. And that's one thing I liked about just reading comics again, is like just discovering stuff and being like, oh, I should go back to this, or maybe I should try to find these books from this previous run, you know. And like I'm trying to, what I think I need to do more of is get into more comics that are past like 2000, like something within the past 25 years, you know, that I could probably maybe check out. I think that might be fun to do, but I'm still enjoying the stuff that I like.
Back in 1940, 8 sensational heroes united to create the world's very first superhero team, the Justice Society of America. Now, 85 years later, we're gathering podcasters and bloggers from around the globe for a month-long celebration in an event we're calling JS April. Throughout April 2025, join dozens of content creators as they each share their own unique tributes to the original and greatest superhero team, including all-star podcasters and bloggers like
Justice Society presents
the Longbox Crusade podcast,
Campus Comics Cast,
Supergirl Comic Box Commentary,
the Quarter Bin Podcast,
the Bat Pod,
the Earth 2 Podcast,
FW Team Up,
Diana Prince is the new Wonder Woman,
Fanholes Podcast,
Back to the Bins,
Coffee and Comics,
the Huntress Podcast,
*51.blogspot.com,
Justice Society Origins, a part of John Reed's Comics,
DC Special Cast,
Between the Pages blog,
The Outcasters, a Batman and the Outsiders podcast,
A World on Fire, an All-Star Squadron podcast,
JLA Stories and Friends,
The Monitor Tapes,
a Crisis on Infinite Earths podcast,
Lords of Order, a DC's Dr. Fate fan podcast,
David M. Gallagher at Medium.com,
JSA in the 90s,
Justice League Legacies,
DC Secret Files podcast,
Mike's
Geek World.
Pop Culture Affidavit.
The Source Material Comics Podcast.
That Giffen Show.
Worst collection ever.
The Fantastic Four.
It all comes back to Superman.
And that's just some of the podcasters and bloggers who'll be joining in the celebration. Get ready for a thrilling month of beloved characters, fascinating insights, and incredible stories. Follow the action on social media with the hashtag JSApril. And visit our website for a complete list of participating podcasters, bloggers, and what they're each covering at fireandwaterpodcast.com/JSApril.
So, what are we going to read today?
Well, we're going to pick up on our Defenders book. We are going to continue talking about Defenders, this being issue number 43 from January 1976.
Okay.
Because we're picking up here with Hulk and the Defenders and everybody squaring off against Cobalt Man.
Yes, Cobalt Man, who we saw in the last issue.
Yeah, he showed up at the very end.
To fight Hulk.
Right, we just started to kind of mess with the Defenders in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because Egghead...
Well, I thought he fought Hulk at the end.
I think he fought Hulk first.
Oh, maybe
and
it was
the Defenders
first.
showed up to
Okay.
try to deal with it because all the rest of the Defenders were in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
This cover actually. So it says, "Hoo boy, Doctor Strange disappears. Cobalt Man explodes. Egghead goes wild." Yeah, I like that. Phase of Pilgrim. This is the big one.
Yeah, I'm like, who's calling me Pilgrim?
I think Stan is.
I think so.
I think Stan says like, "Hey, true believer, Pilgrim."
Yeah, whoever wrote this issue is called me Pilgrim.
Hey, I'm so old. I was on the Mayflower.
I mean, I'd believe it.
I'd believe it too. He was on there writing comics. You know, he's like, you know what this boat could use? Some Captain America. I don't even know what America is yet.
I was going to say, no, we don't know what it is yet.
Captain Mayflower. That's the new superhero. He's going to be. It's Captain America, but he's wearing a pilgrim hat. The cover, we got Doctor Strange in like an inset photo, like it's just a little square. But then the majority of it is just Hulk. It looks like what he's doing is like he's trying to he's slam dancing.
Yeah, it kind of does look like that.
In front of Cobalt Man, who's exerting his energy, and behind him is Nighthawk, and also if you're not looking hard enough, you'll miss Luke Cage and Valkyrie back here.
Oh, you know what? I did actually.
Because the coloring is kind of like, just the way that it's colored, it doesn't look like it's separate things, like a reddish background explosion. So it's very weird that I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm not high. So I don't know why I'm missing these characters, but they're all here. And Hulk has a nice little swoop in his hair here going on. He's doing a slam dance though. He's getting down to like some sick of it all or something like that. But This World Is Mine is the story, and we pick up with the Defenders contemplating what they're going to do because the Cobalt Man is on top of a car and he is about to explode. And Egghead, we're actually seeing it from his view, and he's like, all right, well, now I need to get that stupid stone. And, we've established that the Defenders, the majority of them, except for Doctor Strange, have no idea what this is.
Right. Which is very funny. We are literally 2 issues into this, and nobody has any idea what's going on, except the guy who doesn't show up in this issue.
Yeah, except that guy who actually looked at the stone, and now it reminded me actually what happened to Doctor Strange last issue. I forgot to mention it. He reminds me of Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems, when he's like staring at that like jewel through that case, and he breaks the glass. Do you remember this?
No.
It's in Uncut Gems. Like I don't know why he's looking at this thing, but like he comes in there to get some bling or something, and then he just starts staring at this gem, and and Adam Sandler's like, "Oh, your hands are on the glass, watch out!" And he just breaks through the glass. So yeah, Hulk wants to know why Blue Man is glowing.
I think it's very funny because Hulk just starts screaming about smashing.
Yeah,
which I appreciate.
Which is what he's known to do. Hulk is in this. When he's this is obviously before Smart Hulk. This is, just classic, like, Bruce Banner, smart guy, Hulk, angry guy. And he is always just like, Hulk, this person's my Hulk's friend. Hulk help this person. Also, Hulk wants to smash. Hulk wants to do everything at once. Valkyrie is like, okay, look, the critical mass in this guy's body, because he's made of, like, radioactive material is about to explode. In the background, we get some dude who looks like George Lucas coming up here.
Where?
This guy here. This shirt.
Oh, he kind of maybe like a younger.
Yeah, like, oh no, my car, Sebulba is gonna be so upset because it's his car that Cobalt Man is lying on top of. I spent 5,000 smackers on that baby, so he wants to get
only
off.
$5,000 on a car.
Sure,
and shit. Can I find a car for that much?
For that, yeah, brand new car. I mean, it's not a very efficient car, you know.
Well,
probably,
and then who tells him that his Ford is a piece of shit?
It's Luke.
Oh, it's Luke Cage. That's right.
Because Luke's like, look, your Ford's a piece of shit. It's already a garbage because he fell on top of it. He's like, what do you think you're gonna do? It's like it's basically totaled. And so then, so Luke throws this guy. He tosses George Lucas.
Oh my god, this is very funny because like all this stuff is going on because like Cobalt Man is basically going to melt down, and all these people are like yelling, and they're like, "Where are the cops?" They're like, "Cops are getting mugged." And Luke Cage just like picks up the dude who's yelling about his car and just hucks him.
Yeah,
which is very funny.
He calls him a dumb butt.
A dumb butt.
Because Luke's telling him shit, and this guy's like, goes like, "You're not the police. You don't tell me what to do." And Valkyrie's kind of into it too. She's like, "Can you stop this guy?" And he's like, "Sure, I'm gonna throw this man.
Hey, no problem.
I'm gonna chuck this man. I'm gonna chuck George Lucas into a galaxy far, far away." So Hulk wants to like smash. He's just so desperate to smash.
He is so because he doesn't like that the blue man is glowing.
Yeah,
is what he says. I don't like blue man growing. I will stop this by smashing. And they're like, "No, Hulk, that will make it worse." And he's like, "No, smash, smash, smash." And so then Nighthawk or whoever the hell that guy is.
Nighthawk, yeah.
Nighthawk, he's like flying around. He's like, "Oh, I have an idea." So he goes down and he's like, "Hey, Hulk, don't smash.
Carry.
Just pick him up and throw him in the water." And Hulk's like, "This is stupid, but I will do what Bird Nose says because Bird Nose is friend."
Bird Nose is Hulk's friend. Yes.
I do notice that it's a little weird here because sometimes it's just Hulk smash and then it's full sentences at some points.
Kind of,
where he says like is and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't think Hulk said stuff like that.
What is?
No, like he just says like Hulk thinks this is stupid instead of Hulk thinks stupid or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah. No,
Hulk thinks this is stupid.
Hulk hooked on phonics.
I guess that's what's going on.
Hulk is hooked on phonics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hulk's like, all right, I'll do what you want, homie. And I will jump as far as I can.
Yeah. Into the water.
Into the wet water, into the river. And Nighthawk, still without a shirt, is like, atomic piles are built underwater because water slows down the neutrons passing between atoms.
Yeah, they're like, this should hopefully stop it from melting down.
So this is forcing nuclear reactions to stay below a critical level. So if we do this, we'll be okay. And Hulk's just like, well, if he doesn't start glowing, I'm going to kick his ass anyways. But then for the second issue in a row, Hulk is upset because he was wet.
Yes.
He's just in the water here.
He's like, Hulk is wet.
Hulk is Bird Nose stopped. Blue Man stopped the glowing Bird Nose, and Hulk is wet.
Yeah.
So Egghead is furious now. He says, "Curse that Mongoloidian mammoth." I like good insults, comic book insults. But he's upset because he's the smartest man in the world, and he's going wild.
Yes,
he is.
I don't know if I would say he's the smartest man in the world. Maybe he thinks he's the smartest man in the world.
Well, he thinks he's the smartest man.
So now that Cobalt is in the water, he's like, well, fuck. Now what am I going to do? So he gets his buddy Solar and Rhino out, and he's like...
Solar, by the way, we took the week off last week to talk about Solar, the man, the mutant with solar powers. And we get to kind of do a little deep dive into his history, which is about as deep as it can get because there's not a lot. But we did talk about him for a little bit. So you can check that out on the feed from last week. I'm sorry, continue.
Oh, no, I was just going to say he has a plan for Solar and Rhino to go down and basically fuck some shit up.
Yeah, he's like, look, I just put you in a stasis, but now you're going to go down and do this again.
Yeah, because they're like, why should we even do anything that you say? Because you just shoved us in whatever the fuck that thing was.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Muscle-bound fool, you have no alternative. And then Solar is like, well, how about this? After we escape, we'll kill you, and then we'll escape. And then he's like, whatever, I'm going to shoot you with some transport beams or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, he doesn't have a Suicide Squad hold on them or something like that. I don't think he's like that. He's not that. He's not like that. He's just being an ass and telling these guys they have to do something. But anyways, we're back on the river. Hulk is bringing Cobalt Man out of the water, and everybody is cool. And then the Red Guardian shows up. She is here.
Yes.
She decided to show up and said that, well, I heard at the Soviet embassy wish to speak something. My comrades at the Soviet embassy wished to speak with me, but I left them when I heard that Hulk wants to smash the Blue Man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she comes out and she's like, "Oh, I see you've won." And Nighthawk's like, "If you call this winning,
yeah."
Charlie Sheen out there somewhere,
right,
is also winning.
Yes, long time ago.
Long time ago. Remember that?
Is he still alive?
Yes.
Oh wow, who knew?
I remember.
Is he still like seriously high, or did he get some help?
I don't hear about him a lot anymore. I mean,
it's probably because he's not on TV anymore.
Well, that's
because wasn't he on that stupid show?
He was on 2.5 Men. Yeah. He's been did some stuff, but
Charlie Sheen does stuff.
Well, I'm trying to think of what he's done since then, but I know that was like the big crazy thing where.
Oh, I remember we were in LA, and I remember this whole thing because I was doing a temp thing, and I was at Warner Brothers doing that temp thing.
Yeah.
And I would drive in to my, we weren't that far. We were in Burbank, or we were in North Hollywood, and this was in Burbank. But I would get there early, and I would sit in the car and listen to the radio. And I remember this whole shit going down with Charlie Sheen that one morning when I'm just sitting in my car listening to the fucking radio in this parking garage.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the hell's going on? It's a very specific time in my memory.
It's a very specific time. And then then he announced he has HIV.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what he's up to these days.
The HIV real bad.
Yeah. But he unfortunately is on this comic.
Oh, it's too bad.
So this is where we kind of, well, we're going to get to it in a second, because now they decide.
This gets weird.
Yeah, well, because Cobalt Man may be dead.
Perhaps.
And
possibly.
Perhaps.
May have expired. May have ceased to be. Yes. But may not have.
Nighthawk's talking to Red Guardian, and he's like, "You're a doctor. Can you save him?"
Yeah, fix ? I'm
like, all right, whatever. So we'll get to that. But now we're back on the scene. We're in the lobby of a Midtown hotel, which is where Doctor Strange was meeting that guy,
his friend
that had the old butler that he was like, "Hey, you motherfucking old guy."
Right. He's like, "Oh, hello, old withered aged old withered monster."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, he's like, "Hey, look, I have a gem." So we're at this hotel. Solar and Rhino are there. Rhino, by the way, when he opens the elevator.
Yeah, because he's like, we gotta get up there. And
the way he's drawn, really reminded me of Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura coming out of the Rhino's ass, or Danny DeVito in Always Sunny when he comes out of the couch.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do. Actually, no, wait. This is before the.
This is totally before that. He's just supposed to be peering through that. That's just what it made me think of, because I am disturbed.
It is very disturbing because you would think that this would be a riff on The Shining, but The Shining wasn't out yet.
No.
When I'm thinking about this, so The Shining's not out yet. So this is just a very creepy picture of the Rhino.
Yeah.
Peering through some elevator doors, and yes,
breaking them open.
It's actually very funny. You mentioned him being like Jim Carrey coming out of that Rhino in Ace Ventura 2.
I thought of that. I thought of Danny DeVito
being
coming
a Rhino
out
himself.
Yes, coming out of a Rhino ass. He's being birthed.
But yeah, also yes, hey, yeah, right, yeah. The Always Sunny thing is also very funny.
When Frank Reynolds comes out of the couch.
I was thinking about that the other day with that scene where they're just oh, we're here to make. Frank's gonna be in the couch, and we're gonna make Frank feel bad because everybody's gonna talk shit about him,
right.
and they're just sitting there, and people are like, "Who's Frank?" He's like, just say Frank Reynolds is an asshole. He's like, Frank Reynolds is an asshole. Whatever. Why? What is he doing? And he just jumps out of the couch
because he's been in the couch has been so hot, and he comes out all sweaty and naked. That's pretty amazing.
We'll sew you into this couch.
What a plan. And so then somebody, or are we there? And somebody appears here.
Well, this is where it's because
the Red Rajah.
So what happened was in the previous issue, Doctor Strange got mesmerized by this diamond.
Yes.
Or this ruby.
Yes.
And that turned him into
it turned Doctor Strange into this.
Doctor Strange. Yes.
Why did I not get that?
Because they don't really make a big deal. It's not really known.
Where did this somewhat racist caricature come from?
Well, he comes out, one of the first things he says here in this, one of these panels is, I already have disposed of one mortal who presumed to approach the sacred star. He who men called Doctor Strange.
Oh.
He suffered as you shall suffer, so speaks your executioner, so speaks the Red Rajah.
But I would assume that means he killed Doctor Strange.
Well,
not possessed his body. So it's like this is the entity that lives inside of the stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an Eclipso kind of thing, but for racist, quasi-racist.
Yeah, so
it's not really racist, but it's
sort of racist. Not really.
Well, I gotta say this much. I like this outfit.
No, he looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually a really cool look.
Because you got a lot of
gold. It's red.
It's gold and red, and he's got like kind of like his sick leg armor.
Yo, yeah, he's got some really cool like gauntlets.
And the only thing I don't like is that I wish that this scarf was a different color because you can't really tell that the ruby is actually attached.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But Solar, attacks him. And this is where he's like,
Solar gets jobbed, basically. He gets completely jobbed out.
Oh, he gets real fucked up here.
Jobbed out in like one panel. And then Rhino's like, well, Solar was my friend. And I'm like, so is Solar dead now?
Not yet. Soon. Well, he's like, we get this panel here. It's because Egghead gave him an amplifier to help make his powers better. Yes. That's why he was able to do the heat mirage last issue. Rajah overloads his amplifier with like whatever solar energy he can. Mm-hmm. And this makes him into a catatonic state because you get this really kind of fucked up panel of him just kind of like floating. No, he's just laying on the ground. He's like, the way that
his hair is everywhere.
Yeah, his hair is everywhere. He just looks like he's been like.
He looks like he drowned.
Drowned, yeah, because his soul's been removed from his body.
Yeah,
and is now in the sun. This is where Rhino's like, hey man, that guy was kind of my friend for the past issue. So I'm going to hit you with my
we were buddies because we had to hang out in that, whatever that tube was that Egghead put us in.
We were in stasis together. We kind of played cards.
Yeah.
He's a really good card player.
Yeah. So things like shared trauma just like really connects you with somebody else. Yeah. And now he's dead. And so that makes me upset. So But this is where Rhino's like, all right, I'm going to kick your ass. Mm-hmm. But Red Rajah's like, well, I'm going to get huge. Apparently, Red Rajah can do this.
He grows a little slightly bigger because that's not like Rhino. Rhino's pretty big.
Sure.
But he's not like, Giant Man big or anything like that. So he just kind of gets thick. You kind of see here, he gets a little bit more, more thickness.
Yeah.
Than he does.
It's like a wrestler going away to like recover from injury and they come back swole.
Oh, yeah. Because that's because they get certain medicines.
Certain
that help them out. That was like Triple H in 2000.
Yeah. All of a sudden he came back and you're like, Triple H is the side of a fucking barn.
One of my wrestling guys, I started calling Quadruple H because he's so much more bigger now. You got to add an extra H to that.
Yeah, you gotta.
But so Rajah's like, the least of my abilities is to manipulate one's own organic matter. So I guess he could just do those sorts of things and make himself bigger. Rhino just crashes through a wall and falls out of the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
is this where Egghead like comes off of his NASA space station? Not yet.
This is where he just mindlessly clicks a button. Like like, because he's watching this unfold and he's like, he's not watching. I'm not watching this. He's not watching this at all. He's just sitting up there doing those reports. Apparently,
they got to be turned in.
They got to be turned in. So they don't realize that the space station is actually missing, even though it was launched prematurely because it was stolen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that the astronauts' families are probably like, Where'd my loved one go?
They probably didn't even go. Well, they're probably home.
Then what are they doing? Be like, I was supposed to work and then I got there and it was gone? Honey, that'd be like if you had to work at Starbucks and you show up and you were like, my Starbucks is gone. It just like vanished. And you go home and you're like, the Starbucks is gone. And everyone's like, well, I guess it's gone. And like, nobody says anything.
No. Well, what happened is if it's almost as if like if your car went to work without you.
What, like self-driving?
Yeah. Like it just was like you're ready to go to work and then your car just went to work.
And just like sat in the parking lot?
Sat in the parking lot.
And never came home?
And somebody was there in your car, got in your car and just gave you, filled the gas tank and stuff and changed the oil.
No, that's nice of them. And like check the air tire pressure and stuff.
Yeah, they did all that stuff. And I guess it's called stealing a car.
Yeah, but you usually don't maintain it when you steal it. Usually you take it to a chop shop and they rip it apart. It'd be actually really nice if somebody stole your car and returned it in a better condition.
I was just using it for a second. I had to get to work.
Yeah, I really had to get to work, but I put gas in it. I've changed your oil. I took it through the wash too, detailed, and also checked the tire pressure. You're doing great. If somebody would do that to our car, I'd actually be kind of happy with that.
Yes, but that's basically what Egghead's doing here. Because he's just like, all right, I'm just going to
do what needs to be done, I guess.
But this is, it says, we're amusing Madman continues his erring calculations. He's deciding that, like, well, they should have gotten this ruby by now. I have no way of, even though I threatened them that they could be killed, I'm going to kill them if they don't do this job for me. Mm-hmm. I have no way of checking on them.
Which is very strange because
in some way, even though he does, I thought he did, but
he's doing that thing like when you're angry and just click a pen a whole fucking bunch. It's like, that's basically what he's doing.
It's just like this panel of him just swiping just a thing. But this is where he also decides he has to get into action.
Yes, because finally he's like, you know what? Sometimes if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So I must take my eggs.
Because I am Egghead.
I did not actually realize he had eggs.
Right. I didn't know this. I didn't know
he
the
was
thing.
Just a guy with a weird head. But no. Oh no, he is not. He literally has egg weapons. Which, I mean, if it were today, would cost so much.
But yeah, I just think it's funny that he brought these eggs with him in case he had to do his job.
Well, he does have to do a job. They come in quite handy, as we see.
But he's not a kind of guy that you would think would have to physically.
That's the thing. He doesn't.
Do stuff.
He doesn't look like the type of dude who would physically do stuff. He's like kind of like the Penguin, who kind of should sit back and let goons do things. Not current Penguin in the show, but I'm talking about like Penguin of like the 70s and the 80s, where he just kind of sits around and lets his goons do shit.
Yeah, he's a schemer.
Yeah, he's more of a schemer, and the heavies do the work, which is what Solar and Rhino were supposed to be.
Right. So he's getting impatient, but as he's coming down, we're gonna jump in and check with the defenders, trying to restore consciousness to Cobalt Man via.
I don't really know why they're doing this.
Clea, who is Doctor Strange's lady, the what's her face, Charlize Theron.
Oh,
remember
right.
that guy? Remember that, comic book fans? MCU
Jesus.
fans?
No, I don't remember that at all.
No, not many people do.
All right, cool.
But yeah, that probably will totally never happen.
I was going to say, will we ever see it again?
You know what's going to happen is she's going to get on a ship with Harry Styles as Star Fox and and Pip the Troll, Patton Oswalt.
God.
They're gonna have adventures together, but we're not going to see them.
Nope. No, we sure aren't. Unless they show up in Thunder.
Oh, they're gonna be in Thunderbolts. That's right.
I was gonna call them Thunderbirds. I'm like, that's not right.
They're gonna show up. They're gonna be in a room. They're gonna open up and they're gonna be there having lunch.
It's gonna be basically they're just gonna rip off the idea of what the Phantom Zone was in like the old Superman. You're just gonna see that square, floating through space with like Charlize and fucking Harry Styles and Pip the Troll. They're just all gonna be in that thing. It just like goes by whatever the fuck the Thunderbolts are doing. That would actually be amazing.
That'd be great. Actually, we didn't talk about that really. We talked about the original teaser trailer,
but we didn't talk about the bigger one.
With this bigger trailer, which looks.
I have no interest.
That longer trailer makes me want to watch it less because I don't really understand the point of why we're doing it. Like, I don't know why we have to have a Thunderbolt. I know Thunderbolts were a big deal to the comic book, in comic books in like the 2000s. Mm-hmm. Like they came around just as I was kind of like phasing out of it. And they've been around a lot of different iterations and stuff like that. But I don't really have any interest. I mean, and the thing, I like some of these actors and stuff like that, like Florence Pugh and whatever. But I mean, I can't. Was a Taskmaster and Ghoster in there?
Yes,
I can't tell them apart. In some ways,
I have no idea.
They just because they both kind of look like the same person.
Yeah.
The way that they're designed. So yeah, I don't know. It's not really great. Also, the Fantastic Four trailer. We didn't talk about that.
That's right. That one actually I was interested in. Yeah. That one I appreciated. I appreciated kind of the aesthetic of the Fantastic Four tower there.
Yeah.
Ben Grimm obviously having a seems to be a big role.
Well, yeah, it's a cousin.
It's cousin, but also we didn't see Reed Richards stretch. So I am wondering if he actually is letting people know he has that power, or is it something that we're going to find out later?
Does he stretch at the end?
I'm really thinking that's what's going to be.
Does Pedro just walk and go, hold up, and just go...
Yes. Maybe that's what it is. And also we got to see Galactus, which actually looks like Galactus. At least from what I saw. We only saw like a little piece of it. But
we didn't see any Silver Surfer, though.
But apparently Silver Surfer is in the movie.
Yeah. No, it's a girl.
Yeah.
It's a lady.
Lady Silver Surfer.
Lady Surfer.
Whoever that girl, I can't remember her name, but she was in the comics at one point.
Yeah. But
anyways, what we were talking about before.
Anyway, so Clea's here to like help. I don't really understand.
See, this is what I mean by this is where it gets weird, because I'm like, why do we need to remember Cobalt? But I guess this is how we get out of this whole thing. So she comes and Doctor Strange has like this weird ass.
Clea.
Yeah, sorry. Well, Doctor Strange has a machine.
Oh, he does have a machine.
That Clea uses to like mentally meld with Cobalt.
No, Clea is a Red Guardian.
Red Guardian uses it.
But Clea is like facilitating this.
I get you. So Red Guardian like melds with Cobalt and like knows of all the things. So basically we go back and forth between Red Guardian reciting like Cobalt's history. Egghead literally throwing eggs at people.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, actually, because we take a break for that for Hulk to just wandering the halls of the Sanctum Sanctorum.
As he does.
He's just being like, man, I miss Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, Magician is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Egghead's just like, aha, well, here's a fucking egg with a blanket in it?
Basically a blanket, and he just throws it, and it's like a sheet. And it goes on to Hulk, and Hulk's like, oh no, too soft, can't smash. And he gets stuck in it?
Yeah, you can't smash.
I mean, is that what you need to defeat Hulk? Is just like a
really tight blanket?
You go to Target, buy like a fucking clearance blanket, just toss it on him?
Yeah, you buy like...
is he like a cat where you just like roll him up as like a cat burrito? Or like, is it like a thunder shirt for a dog where it's like he has this and now he, can't move or whatever the hell they do.
Fitted sheets to feed Hulk.
It seems they do. This is like, remember if you put a leash on a cat for the first time, it'll just sort of flop. Yeah. And it won't move. I mean, that's kind of what's happening here.
People are wondering, that's what the Thunderbolt Ross and all those goons that are trying to defeat the Hulk. They're just shooting cannons at him and grenades, and they're trying to, every time they see the Hulk, they're trying to blow him up.
I know.
All you need to do
is
throw a big blanket. You know what you do? This is what you do. You get that. Did you ever play with the big and when you were a kid? And
the big parachute?
The parachute?
100%.
You just get that.
Fucking love that thing.
Get the parachute.
That was the best gym day.
That is a good gym. That was a good gym day.
Whenever you got the big fucking parachute, it was like, yes, best day. That's all you need. It's just like a big old fucking nylon parachute, and you take it and just throw it on Hulk, and he's stuck.
Actually, that makes perfect sense.
It does. Yeah.
So, yeah, but we get this backstory about Cobalt, who liked Iron Man a lot. He was a big fan of Iron Man.
Yeah, because apparently, like, we go back to, like, X-Men 31.
X-Men 31. This is where because he's an admirer of Iron Man. He tried to imitate the armor, but the radiation from the Cobalt shock that he's using to create this armor, I guess, warped his mind.
Yes, so he went crazy. And then the X-Men fought him,
and then he felt really bad.
And then there's like a second Cobalt.
Yeah. So, but we're also still kind of watching here. So the Hulk is caught up in this
sheet.
Fitted sheet. Then Valkyrie shows up.
Yes.
And she's like, well, you ain't gonna fucking do shit with the fitted sheet to me.
Right.
I got a sword. I can cut through the fitted sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Or your weird gym class parachute.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, haha, here's another egg.
And they do apparently the exact thing that he needs them to do.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what this one does to her.
This one just shoots about some electricity and shocks her enough that she's
zapped and she falls down.
Yeah, she falls down. I kind of like what we do here sometimes in comics, where one sort of story kind of goes on the bottom half of a page, mm-hmm. and then the rest of it, the story, because it was on top.
So we get Nighthawk and Luke Cage, and they're hanging out, and Luke Cage is like, Nighthawk, I know that like you wanted me to be on this team. It's kind of not my thing. I think your team's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested. And Nighthawk's like, would you need more money? And he's like, no, I don't care about the money. This is fucking dumb. And then Luke Cage turns around and Egghead has tied up Nighthawk And then he's like,
I don't know how Egghead.
I don't know how.
Because Egghead just he sees these stairs and he's like, all right.
I'm assuming he just threw like bolos at him in his egg.
But you'd think that two superheroes, are able to hear a egg-shaped man come up the stairs.
This is why you need a Superman. You got to have somebody who's got super hearing, because apparently
Luke's skin's just made of steel, so he doesn't have
here's the thing. Like, I assume that in the Sanctum Sanctorum, it is an old house.
Yeah, creaky
stairs, right? That would be the one you can't move in that house without someone hearing you.
Yeah, he walks up the stairs. Egghead's walking up the stairs. He's like, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!"
Yeah, basically creak. But apparently they didn't hear it. So then he tries to throw an egg at Luke Cage, and it just bounces off of it, which is very funny. And it opens like one of those cheap plastic eggs you get at Easter.
Yeah, it's just whatever's in it. It's like some sort of fuse or something. It just falls apart because while he's on the ground, Nighthawk's like, "Hey, FYI, that's the guy that blew up that lady's arm, Trish Starr, who is, I forgot who she was. She's like we talked about her last issue. She's a friend of somebody's, but he blew her up her arm.
Sure,
I guess, and
Luke Cage is
like, "Hey, Baldy, you're the 2-bit bum who blows up women.
Nice,
just to teach them a lesson. I'm not just any woman. You hurt your own niece." Oh, there you go.
Oh, this is 2-bit bum who blows up women. Quite the descriptor.
If you had to describe Egghead in a line, in a way, just be like, who's Egghead in the Marvel? If he ever comes to the MCU, you just be like, "Oh, who's Egghead? Oh, he's a 2-bit bum that blows up women."
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
So Luke Cage is going to find him. We also have obviously the Cobalt thing, and make a long story short with the Cobalt thing, Cobalt remembers that he was being controlled.
Yeah.
That's what we eventually get to with all of this stuff. So Cobalt remembers that he was being controlled.
Because it was a different guy, some guy named Ralph Roberts.
Yeah, because there were like 2 Cobalts or something.
Eric Roberts' father was the second Cobalt Man. He decided he was going to blow himself up in the mid-Pacific or something. And again, the radiation fried his brain. Mm-hmm. And this is something. And then he Hulk and Cobalt Man fighting in space,
which we saw last issue, and I don't remember why they got up in space, and I don't think that was ever explained. But somehow they're in space, and like Hulk knocks.
It's like they're in the atmosphere somehow.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly how that happened. I don't think we found that out last issue either.
Yeah, and it blows Cobalt Man, and that's why he was in space,
right? And he just kind of like floats back, and then that's when Egghead gets him and whatever. And so this is when he was like, "Oh shit, I've been controlled." Right, so he realizes this.
But now we're back hanging out with Luke Cage. And because everything's about to merge here, but yeah, Luke Cage is like, "Hey man, I met that chick out, a couple issues ago. She was pretty cool, but you hurt her, so I'm gonna kick your ass."
Yep.
And Egghead's just like, "I have no other weapons. I all the eggs I used, I should have saved the fitted nylon balloon parachute for Luke Cage.
Yeah, I should have brought 2.
You should have brought 2. I should
always have a backup.
I don't know why I didn't bring 2. I figured I'd save the other one in case I had to throw it at like Colossus or something.
But apparently I needed to throw it at Luke Cage because he has steel skin.
He has steel skin. And and so as this is going on and this, merger is happening or whatever, or it's about to end because Luke punches Egghead.
Right.
Should probably kill him.
Right.
Because he's got steel skin.
Because basically we get everybody down at the same place. I don't know where Cobalt comes in. Because
I don't know. He comes through like a door.
He comes through like almost like a portal or something.
So they had to fight. I don't know if they're fighting because Egghead went upstairs into whatever solarium that they were standing in.
Yeah.
And the fight must have went downstairs.
Right.
Because now
everybody's in the same place.
Yeah. So everybody's in the same place. So he kicks
and Cobalt appears out of nowhere. And then Cobalt's like, "Eggman, you were the guy who fucked me over." And he like grabs him.
Yeah. Well, I love Red Guardian here because she's like, because he's Cobalt's spot. Like, he's like, "Hey man, I was a free dude. And now you're controlling me because you found me floating in space." And Red Guard is just like, "Ralph Roberts, no, full name.
But then
he just for a quick flash, he just disappears.
Yep.
Contained nuclear implosion, destroying them both, but leaving us unharmed. And Luke is like, man, the party's over, huh?
It sure is.
I don't think he's dead, though. I think he died. Egghead does die in like a different comic book or something. But yeah, Red Guardian's like, okay, yeah, well, everything's cool. And here, I'll read this here. Egghead, yes, Luke Cage, because of Cobalt Man, Egghead will no longer menace the world or make men slaves. As today, a brave man died for freedom. And as a communist, that is something I must consider and pray I must someday understand.
Oh, boy.
So I pray I may someday understand.
Okay.
So we're saying something here.
Sure. Yes, we sure are.
But the next issue, a startling new Defender. I don't really know who it is, actually.
No.
Plus Red Rajah's Revenge.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So we are getting into it here. Oh, by the way, did you? There's a Hostess ad in here that I really enjoyed.
Oh, I didn't read it, but I saw it. I was just like, I
gotta find this here because I remember it being. I think it's Captain Marvel. Oh, here it is. Great. Yeah. So Captain Marvel and the Energy Crisis.
Okay.
So there's this doctor apparently named Neuron Nelson, once a respectable professor at not Harvard but Narvard University.
Uh-huh.
He says, my neuron neutralizer ray will give this world a real energy crisis. This ray neutralizes people's nervous systems and saps them of all their energy. And this is the first thing he does is like, kids have a lot of energy, so I'm going to jump out of this manhole cover and shoot these kids at a playground. Just a random manhole cover in a playground.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots these kids just as they're eating this cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, man, I'm so tired, I can't even eat this cake. And then this neuron, whatever, is like, good. Now I'm ready to go to Washington and get the president.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's Ford. I think Ford's still in the office.
To hang out with him, or is he going to pew-pew?
He's going to sap the Ford's energy, Gerald Ford's energy. He's like, hi, I'm Jerry Ford.
Did Jerry Ford have a lot of energy?
Jerry Ford was known for his handstands that he would do in office.
Oh, yes, he says yoga. That's right. When I forgot about our yoga president.
Well, his wife, created the Betty Ford Clinic. So, and that's where everybody who has a lot of energy goes to recover.
Well, I thought that was just for booze, but if you're doing cocaine,
well, sometimes you can have alcohol fueled rage or fueled fun.
Sure, definitely alcohol fueled fun.
Some people get real active on alcohol.
That's true.
Captain Marvel shows up because he's like, that creep. He's stopped them from eating that moist devil's food cake. What a fiend. He's not worried about the radiation this guy's using on these kids. He's just like, they could have finished that cake. And so he crushes this gun. As he's punching this guy, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to deprive the kids of chocolatey icing and creamed filling. I was only testing my ray.
He totally fucked those kids over.
Yeah. And some kids like, Neuron, you'll never be successful when you come between a kid and his Hostess cupcake. Hey, I saw you. Normally we see these a lot. You see these a lot, but this one actually kind of stood out because he's just some guy jumping off a manhole cover and shooting kids with a ray.
Yeah.
And but really the big crime is they can't finish eating their cake.
Right.
They're just like looking at like a Suzy Q, like,
I mean, that truly is a crime.
I mean, look, honestly, probably better off that way because those Hostess cakes aren't good for you.
Well, no, they're not good for you.
Back when I was a boy, I could eat, maybe pound a few.
My dad still eats those, right?
I know he does.
My dad's like,
did your dad ever eat the orange cakes?
No.
Because they used to have
never an orange cake guy.
I think they were orange because there was a...
I remember them, but no, my dad never ate them. He always would go for the Hostess, the muffin, not the muffin, the cupcake with the white swirly on the top.
Oh, wait, no.
And Twinkies. He also loves Twinkies.
Of course he loves Twinkies.
But you know which one I'm talking about, right? The cupcake. It has
is it not just a regular Hostess cupcake, right?
It's a Hostess cupcake. It has the chocolate frosting. It has that little white swirl.
Yeah, that's just like the traditional Hostess cupcake.
Yes, that's the one he would eat. That one and the Twinkies. Those are. My dad was big on those.
I used to try it because
Probably
chocolate
has some in his pantry right now.
The chocolate on those was used to kind of be like,
oh, you could pull them off.
You could pull them off and you just kind of do a thing with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just like rip it off and like eat them separate. Yeah.
I used to like a good ho-ho.
Never really had a ho-ho.
Swiss chocolate cakes.
Did the Swiss cake roll.
Swiss cake roll.
Yeah, loved a Swiss cake roll. And those little trees, those white.
Those trees, yeah.
Those are fucking delicious. Well, those aren't Hostess, though. Those are whatever they are.
No, they're the same. They're Hostess. The Hostess will make them.
I thought it was like a little Debbie.
Basically, what they would do is they would take
the same basic idea.
They would take the same cake they would use for zebra cakes and just form it into different cakes.
Into a tree, but I don't think.
Be like, hey, look, it's a fucking.
But zebra cakes aren't Hostess either, are they?
Yeah.
I thought they were Little Debbie. Or is
maybe.
Is that an offshoot of Hostess?
No. Little Debbie. That's right. There was
in fairness, everything's owned by like 5 people. So
that's true.
If you follow things enough, you'll be like, oh, that company owns that company. It's pretty much the same thing. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you enjoy snack cakes, then you probably enjoyed this podcast.
Let me know about what snack cake you like. Maybe I have to recommend a new one to my dad.
Yeah, please email us at worstcollectionever@gmail.com. You can find
snack cakes.
Yeah, just about snack cakes. Don't talk about the comic.
Yeah, fuck comics.
If you have thoughts on a comic, I don't want to know. We will accept them.
Yeah,
but we won't. But you have to add some sort of cake based Hostess cake.
Has to be a snack cake.
You know, if you want to recommend maybe some Drake's,
some old man candy, any sort of crazy old man candy that you can think of, my dad probably loves. But if you've got another idea,
tell us your favorite Entenmann's delicacy.
Yeah,
whatever. But that's gonna do it for this week's episode. Thanks for listening. Find us on the socials. Please rate and review the podcast anywhere you get it. And that would be really groovy. So once again, folks, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again next time.
Bye.